Hi, this is Miss Key, and this is my review of Ready to Love Season 5, Episode 6, Backup Plan. Let's get started. So, we start out this episode, and the men are in the gentleman's lounge with Tommy. Donovan says this is his first gentleman's lounge, and Tommy says that it's time to look at your second option again. And so Tori mentions in his confessional that he didn't have a backup plan. I said, yeah, that was the problem. That's why your face was all tore up last week, because you only was thinking about Sabrina and your feelings got hurt because she had other guys in her repertoire. So anyway, my initial thought before they even got started with all of this week I think Precious should go home. We'll see. So anyway, Clifton says he's not super comfy with going out with someone else. Everybody knows his number one is Joy. Eric the chef, um, they show him after they get out the gentleman's lounge. They later show him he's he mentions that Dakia is his first and Carmen is his second. But he already knows Carmen, and so he's going to take her on the date because she's his second. So he brings her some flowers, which I thought was very nice, and I thought that Eric the chef looked good in his purple shirt. But anyway, I'm glad Carmen left those blue contacts at the house this time. But anyway, um, they were, being flirty, and then Eric came with the, innuendos this week, and I was just like, ugh, Eric, you too? I'm like, I'm a little tired of the innuendos, but whatever. Um, and then at one point during their date, he gave Carmen some tea about his interaction with Dakia. And I just thought that that was really messy. I'm like, why are you talking to this other woman about something that happened between you and Dakia? That is just so messy. He talked about how Dakia leaned in for a kiss at one point and he said he obliged. And I'm like, okay. And then Carmen talks about in her confessional that Dakia is a desperate woman. I'm like, Carmen, you just give me bad vibes. But anyway, and I think Eric was really messy for giving up that tea, whatever it was. It seemed a little choppy. I didn't really get the whole, it didn't seem like the whole story had came out, but I just thought that was messy. I'm like, what's up with that? He had me last week with all that good food he was cooking. Now this week he want to be messy. And then they go on with their little date. Eric had more innuendos, and I was just like, these people, they just really, they need a cold shower. I think every last one of these cast members need a cold shower. Um, so then they show Tina going out with Demetrius, and Tina lets Demetrius know that she really didn't think he was interested in her. That when they first met, he really didn't speak. Um, Sidebar: I thought her curly hair was really cute. I wonder, is that her hair or is that the wet and wavy? Anyway, um, Demetrius, was trying to get to know her and stuff like that. And she was just really kind of grilling him a little bit. He said she came in hot. She let him know that she feels like he gives player vibes. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then she asked him, does he really want to get to know her? She said in her confessional, maybe I came off a little strong. I was like, you think? Um, I was like, ma'am, this is a dating show. You are supposed to date more than one person. So anyway, Demetrius let her know that he won't mislead her. And then they started talking, and she was like, trust is important to her. She feels like love shouldn't be hard, even though it's not a walk in the park. Um, Demetrius says that he felt that she looked good and that he appreciates a woman that states what she wants up front. So, she came in hot, but it worked for him. So then they show Donovan, and he says, since he's the new guy, he feels like he needs to expedite the whole process. So they show him on dates with Carmen, Sabrina, and Dakia. So on his date with Dakia, she said that he's fine. I think he's a nice looking guy. For me, I wouldn't go as far as to say fine, but he's decent looking. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at him. Um, so On his date with her, I'm going out of order. It really wasn't that much to their date that they showed. She asked him what his type was, and he said ambition. And then uh, they talked about like their love languages, and I believe his love language was affirmations and personal touch. So I didn't really get much else from his date with Dakia. But on his date with Carmen, she asked him what his ideal woman was, and he said someone who can adapt. Um, she says she's competitive. They talked about kids. He mentioned that he had a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old. Um, and Carmen says she already has a 16-year-old. And he asked her if she would be open to more kids. And she said she prefers not to have more kids. But she did say, with the right person, they can have that conversation. He also gave her like a little dessert. I guess it was some type of cake or a cupcake, or I don't know what that was, for her birthday. And I thought that was really sweet. So that was cute. Then they show him with Sabrina, and they seem to have a lot in common. They both have been divorced. Um, and he actually asked Sabrina if there's a chance for her to have a new connection. And she actually said yes, that she's open to establishing a new connection. They're both from California, so they also had that in common. Sabrina says it was her best date, and she needed to hurry up and get out of there before she ended up sleeping with him. I said, well, again, everybody, cold showers all around for everybody on this cast. So anyway, they show Clifton and Dakia on the date, and he said, she comes off as having like more of a 9 to 5 attitude, and he wants to know her after 5 attitude. He wants to know if she can really let her hair down. So I think Clifton, sidebar, is a handsome guy. I do think he's very handsome. But I think at this point, I think he would have more fun with Joy. They really seem to click. So he orders some oysters, and Dakia says she's really not a fan. And he asks, does she feel like she'll get sick off of them? And then here comes another innuendo. She says, "Oh no, she said her gag reflex is pretty strong." I was like, "Yuck." I'm okay with flirting, but this is ridiculous. Um, Clifton fed her an oyster, and he thought it was sexy. For me personally, this is just me personally. I don't think eating food is sexy at all. And I hope don't nobody ever want me to be trying to be sexy when I'm eating. I'm just trying to eat. I ain't trying to be sexy when I eat. But that's just a sidebar. I digress. Um, so then they show P.O. and Joy. I'm like, how is Joy his second? Now I saw him go out with Carmen, feed her pickles and whatnot. I saw him going out and being all up on Tina. I'm like, how did Joy become his second choice? But anyway, and then PO's he's talking about this is about to be a moment of clarity. I'm like, clarity for what? That she don't like you and you don't like her? I don't get it. So then PO says to Joy that they had their first date at the mixer, and she was like, okay. She was like, this was a platonic date. She mentioned that they can talk and everything like that, but they just friends. That's what she said. Then they go back to Clifton and Dakia and they oysters, and they start talking about, how do they have fun and things like that. And Dakia says she loves roller coasters. She wants to go bungee jumping. And Clifton says he's already bungee jumped. So he was really liking hearing about that adventurous side of Dakia. Um, and Dakia said that it's more to her than just the professional side. She likes to have fun. So then they go back over to P.O. and Joy. And P.O. asks her what inspired her to be so bold as to kiss Clifton during the Truth or Dare. And basically, when she kissed him, it was a lot of broken hearts. I guess his heart was broken. I don't know. I didn't even know he liked her, actually. Um, then they go back to Clifton, and Clifton says he has a strong connection with Dakia. So he was really feeling Dakia. He knows that she's more than the 9 to 5. So Clifton is open to more connections. He's liking Dakia. Of course, he still likes Joy, but I noticed Joy only likes Clifton, so we'll see. Joy says she wants to hone in on Clifton, and him and her talk about Po and Joy talk about just being friends. So I don't know if I said back to Clifton and back to Joy and Po, but they was going back and forth, showing each one of their dates. So anyway, next we see Laverne. Oh boy. We see Laverne, and he says that his two choices are Ace. He said Ace is peace and calmness. And then Joy, he feels like Joy is the female version of him. She's outgoing and loud. So those are the things that he likes about those two ladies. So as far as the date is concerned, Laverne takes Ace out. Um, and then they're at a restaurant and he has a gift for her. He gets her something for her skin. And then at one point he starts rubbing it in her skin. And she says she's feeling like getting that schoolgirl feeling. I was like, okay. And then next we see Tori going out with Precious. And they're at a restaurant and they're taking shots, they're flirting. And Precious did mention that in the beginning when they first got, on the show, her and Tori did have a nice conversation and they had a connection, but somehow, throughout the process, their connection got lost in the sauce. So, and I did notice that they did have a good conversation on the first episode, and I'm not really sure how they lost that, but it was cute that they went out on a date. Um, then they go back to Laverne and Ace. And she's talking about, her love language is acts of affection, acts of service. And she feels like Laverne is a good listener. Back to Tori and Precious. Tori asked Precious what makes her tick. And I don't remember her answering that. But she asked Tori, will they be better as best friends, sex friends, lovers? And I'm just like, girl, he really was trying to get to know you at this point, and then you pretty much just, I don't know a good way to put it, you just putting yourself out there for easy picking. So I guess I'll put it like that. Um, and then Tori starts talking this nonsense that he likes to talk. I don't know who told Tori that it was cute to be talking about, in the bedroom. It's cute to be talking about you're gonna be poking people kidneys and rearranging their organs. But Tori, that's not cute, bruh. It's not cute. That is not cute. That is not a turn on for anybody. Uh Ladies, we want our insides intact. That's not cute. And truth be told, you probably never mind. Never mind. It ain't cute, Tori. So so they start talking about all that nonsense. He talking about he the kidney smasher. I was thinking in this moment, Tori, he need to go home next week. He really need to go home next week just for saying that. But anyway, so we go back to Laverne and Ace, and Laverne's feeding Ace maybe some steak. I don't know. And then she talks about she's a good planner, and um, you know, Ace is real laid back. I mean, real laid back. I'm like, girl, woo, you just give me vibes like you engage in activities that will cause you to have munchies later. Let's just put it like that. So anyway, Laverne and her talked about he's talking about he has a Christmas gift in mind for her. So I guess he honing in on her. Back to Tori and Precious. Tori at one point, he kisses Precious, and I'm just like, Tori, you out here doing the most. You know you don't like Precious like this. You still mad that Sabrina was nibbling on Demetrius' ear and then they kissed, so you just feel like you just need to kiss somebody on camera. So he kissed her and she said she don't even feel no, in her confessional, Precious said she don't feel love emotions for Tori. So anyway, uh, Tori said in his confessional there was no spark there. He's just interested in Sabrina. I'm like, yeah, we all know that. So anyway, we go to the gentleman's lounge next, and they talk about their dates and what happened with going on their dates with their second choice. And Eric, the chef, he talks about how his date with Carmen opens some more doors. And then he talks about Dakia and, you know, how he feels about her. And he says, as far as Carmen is concerned, he feels like Carmen will go well with his life. And, his date with her shifted her in the lineup. So, he really feeling her. He really feeling Carmen. Clifton talks about his date with Dakia, and he felt like she showed him that she was more than a 9 to 5 attitude. So, he said that she's a totally different person, when she lets her hair down. So that date was good for him. Demetrius says he had a date with Tina and they had a lot in common and it shifted some things. I was like, Still seemed like she was grilling him to me, but maybe he liked that kind of thing. P.O. talks about how him and Tina had that instant connection. Donovan, he says he had a good time with Sabrina. He said Carmen kept him on his toes and Dakia was fun and driven. I think of all the ladies that they show him go out with, I think Donovan likes Sabrina the best. If she really does allow for him to connect with her, I think that they would be a better connection than him and Carmen or him and Dakia. So Laverne, he says that Ace is peace, Ace is calm, Ace is the one. They planning holidays, and everybody like, wait, 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 wait. I thought she was your second, so now y'all planning Christmas. And then he says that him and Ace and Joy was neck and neck, but the date with Ace gave him clarity. So I was like, I guess. Then he started trying to give the men advice, and Eric, the chef, he was shaking his head. He really wasn't trying to hear it. And Demetrius, him and Laverne got into a little back and forth thing. I was like, okay, fellas, why y'all in y'all feelings? But hey, whatever. Um, Tori, he says it's Sabrina for him. Demetrius says it's Sabrina for him. Tori in his confessional says that he's not worried, but his face is saying that he's definitely worried that Sabrina is Demetrius's number one. So then they talk about who they're not feeling at this point. Tommy says that they need to start removing the distractions. Demetrius says, Precious not feeling her. He didn't feel like she was being genuine when they talked the last time. Donovan says Precious gives him more of sister vibes. She in the friend zone. Tori says, Precious has a nice vibe and that she's beautiful, but there's no connection there. Laverne says Sabrina don't do nothing for him. Now P.O., he says that he had to tell Joy that he doesn't think they have a connection on the romantic level. I was like, that's not how I remember the date going, that he had to tell her that they was just friends. I thought it was really the other way around, but okay. It was more of a mutual thing that was already should have been known, but I digress. I don't know what he talking about. Eric the chef said that Joy is definitely in the friend zone and she knows where her heart is. Everybody knows that Joy's heart is with Clifton. So they have to eliminate someone, and so they show Joy with Demetrius. Joy, she just kind of came in kind of on guard. I guess she already knew what it was, that she could have been eliminated. And so Demetrius trying to talk to her. She taking drinks. She looking all huffy puffy uptight. Then they show Precious and Clifton, and he talks about how the fellas feel like she has this party person vibe. They flip back over to Joy and Demetrius, and Joy's talking about she's tired, she's fatigued, nothing's gonna change about where her heart is at or whatever. Then she asks Demetrius, if he likes someone there, and she says she doesn't think he's there for love. And I was just like, Joy, it's not your turn yet. It's the men's turn to eliminate someone. So I don't know what's up with you. Um, so then she goes on and says that she feels that he's there to get to the end or start some stuff. And I was just like, why are you on the defense? Because you feel like you're about to get eliminated. I'm like, why does any of these people get mad? The people who do get mad, why do you get mad when you get eliminated? You're on a dating show, so somebody's going to get eliminated. So why are you getting mad? Anyway, um, Demetrius says he just don't feel like she was listening to anything he had to say. But he let her know that she's not ready to leave, but she's on notice. So anyway, they show Joy in her confessional. She said that she did come in hot and she blew up on him. She killed the messenger and she was sorry, not sorry. I was like, Joy, that really wasn't a good look. Usually you're a likable person, but the way you was acting at that moment, that just wasn't cute. Then they show Clifton. He lets Precious know that her journey ends here. She took it in stride. She said in her confessional that she didn't agree with it, but she talked with Clifton and said, they always gonna be homies, and they walked out hand in hand, and it was all good. She took it better getting eliminated than Joy took not getting eliminated. But anyway, so then they show the ladies at the wine bar with Tommy, and Tommy says sexy six, so because it's only six ladies left. And he goes around and asks the ladies, how have things been going? And everybody says it's been going fine, da 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 da, until they get to Dakia. And Dakia says, things are not going good. There was a incident between her and Eric, the chef, and she doesn't want to have contact with him at this point. She thinks he needs to do some reflection and growth away from her, and she don't want to date him anymore. And I'm like, what happened? What the heck happened? That because they was each other's number one, and he was cooking her pasta salad, and what happened? I don't know. I guess we got to find out next week. But I wonder if it has anything to do with him telling Carmen that the kid kissed him and he obliged. I wonder, is it that petty or if something deeper happened? So I look forward to seeing, what that's about. But at any rate, this is my review. This is Miss Key. This is my review of Ready to Love, Season 5, Episode 6, The Backup Plan. See you next time.